both languages can benefit, because what I have to share today is very critical. And it has to do with especially Museveni swearing in, the risks involved for Ugandans and National Unity Platform. Lokma kelo enini lokapira tek ma dokikom nina di money ma Museveni dong mirti bini team swearing in where gina kwako nup gibane joma Uganda joma kwako lokma kwako President Chagulanyi Sentamu ki National Unity Platform. So what I'm going to share today is inside information, very, 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 very high security profile information that has come from quite in there with the Museveni's camp. It's very important. I've decided to interlude Acholi and English, somehow just weave it in together so that we can both get value off it right away when the time, as important, essence of time. So, atamni ake loki wenka chel kile mono, where ke pian loki mugu pier terida, pamir karo kat malach manonga, pia loko uwinye wakokuno. So, welcome to my platform today. My name is Lady Winnie. I am here because I was born and raised in Uganda. I love Uganda very much. I want to do everything as part of the struggle for transition into a free country for Ugandans, not the captured country for Rwandese at the moment. So, Genoke Lakanyi, Pian An, Latian Acholi, Latian Uganda, Doc An, Aberu Waro, I America, Kumbetichawani, Anto Chwinya, Kima, Mati Uganda, Terradida. So, very, very, very strong. Lokmana Kelutine, Uberu Lokma, ma jo pa Museveni gitika lokone ma gitika nyamone tim ma do ma gimeta gitimi kom dano ma jo ma ti annually ma Uganda ki jo ma ti National Unity Platform ki jo ma ti NUP MPs pa NUP. So this has to do with the MPs of NUP, National Unity Platform, the President, His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu, obviously indigenous Ugandans, born and raised Ugandans. First of all, they are celebrating like no other the passing of the sovereignty bill. Okay? They feel like with the sovereignty bill, they are going to be able to stifle NUP completely. Chagulanyi Sentamu will lose all his wealth. NUP members will have no stand. NUP members, MPs will not succeed as MPs. A seriously planned re-election for every region where there's a NUP member of parliament, eventually failing and shutting down and crushing National Unity Platform completely. So, Kileba Choli, Awachi, Kopedichane, Lokmati, Kelni, Lokapera, Terradida, Majo, Mejo, Museveni, Gitika, Lokoneki, Plan, Madoma, Redadida, Plan, Gidon, Gigiyoma, Dida, Ni Bill, Makiloni, Sovereignty Bill, Do Caro, Yanginani, Kibile, and Carapabile, and Dong, Gobi Ramo, Kwanyu Lonyu pa Chagulanyi Sentamu or Bobby Wine, Lonyu ne Wang Don Kibi Mayoro, Jome National Unity Platform, MPs Mokarni, Wang Kibi Ker by election, Kamagiti ye. Pego bichung, pego bekar, pego karigo swearing in, go beru kalanya kot, ma pego bichung kama go kari kui. Genamo kana edong, ginano ni eni dong kita dong bile no karni. Dong go venano yo me ronyu, annually me Uganda dong me agirti, me nano ni dong getiero giro lazima, ma dong kor do beru peni. Dok bena go bekelu jogi dong, me donyo, kama gimeta go donye ye. Pati ma keluani nup, Gubi nyano gubi crushing party men nup or pedo be nano nup gimo ke Uganda. On plan giba, that is their plan. In the last parliamentary sitting where the sovereignty bill was being passed, Speaker Anita Mong mentioned something to the effect of to Joel and the NUP National Unity Platform members of Parliament saying, it's the last supper. And Joel said, what do you mean by that? And she did not add anything to it. So, hello, Jonah. Good to see you. Lydia, good to see you. Joanne, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Carolyn, thank you. Thank you for being here. You guys, I appreciate you coming to be with me while I do this. Just a side note, before I started doing this, and I would listen and watch and see all these things, I was telling somebody else, my heart kept pulling its strings every day and saying, you have to do something. You must do something. Come on and do something. Maybe speak, maybe do whatever you can. And every time I would promise myself or tell my husband, say, I really want to do something like this. And he'd say, well, why don't you do something about it? If God put something in your heart, there's no escape from it. And this one, really, I feel like he nailed it. It's in there. I look forward to it. I try to do it. So I'm really glad that you are waiting and you're here to attend, whenever I come. It's odd. It's 5:30 in the US on the western coast. So I don't know what time it is anywhere, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. You're very welcome. I don't want to lose track, so I'll get right back into it. So karma bill me sovereignty ni kibere kere I parliament karma kibere ka katro bill en la wo madani. Anita among owaju gina owaju ni wunge lok ma kiwani last supper ni chama ma Yesu chamo ki jone chamme agiki madong Yesu kinero do runeni kilwoni last supper chamme agiki magugore kachel kun Anita waju ni eni madong gene temoni don kilwoni last supper manyu tere ni jo me nup dong eni dong ki wachi chumame agiki coffin ge no, it's like they say the last nail on the coffin is what she was referring to, because they have very, very evil plans leading to the swearing in and planning leading to and after and all of that. So what I'm bringing to you today, take very seriously, share as much as possible, share to the places where it needs to go. I'm also going to get my share of it to where it needs to be. Look, mabi chuwajutinni. Au chualu ka weng upore kin dana de da wek dano nge wek dano guake wek dano mo kene ma winyi marom timo gimo ben gutem timo gimo me joko Johnny enini. I understand the Salim Salehs and the Musevenis have children all over Uganda, all over. That is why some areas where MPs stood for positions, results were announced without actual numbers. I'm talking locally in the different districts or areas where MPs were running for office. Those are all children of Museveni, Salim Saleh, and their family, where they've recreated or cut out small districts. You will know that those kids, those people who are MPs, have no rooting in this district. So the areas where they were forcefully appointed, in fact, they were appointed, not elected. Awinyi lutino pa Museveni gi kina Salim Saleh gi tie ogoka we Uganda. Anyway, mukene ma kikero MPs mogo, mukene iponi Johnny mago bino guchung MP ni. Beranyuali me area enuni. Ka upenyu wiwu neno MP LC5 office egoni weng jo ma okarkui guberu dano manope dano manually area and pian Museveni gini Salim Saleh gi tiki lutiana district o weng dok gina gimiete dong gitim ena yeni jo ma ko karo chalo MP chalo opposition ki ngongo gini jo ani weng ki bi kwanyu gi oko ki bitero gi kot ki bitimo by election gubi ker lutiano ge mero dong ka dong gu swearing in ba ka dong gu donyo ma dong ke pa Museveni do chake bill me sovereignty bill gu ai dong gu bitiu ke dong meneno ni gitiego dano go wen ki yomo ke kan magien twero ineno because they had said that with the sovereignty bill they would be able to clear as much as possible. That's why the bill had to pass before Museveni swore in and with the exiting parliament ineno bill eni kiwachi miero kare mapia parliament manyeno chake en wero uneno ni miero gini ukad mapia nieno me en swearing in nindwa para bij me do mabiju en wero ki royo gini ki roya po karo ki stages ma miero kat kere wero chung matek kita bill mo kana wero kere ni chilok mana bi what you tini u sharing adeda please share as much as possible. You can break it, you can do whatever you need with it, but get it where it needs to be because this is vital information. Lok ma enini pera te adeda au po kin pingweng kito twero kere neno any kare madong swearing in shock pian Museveni ko berichani luo ni en kai chero ko kololo kacha ka good bible ki keto che e kon bible ki swearing ngeni tamni gi mo bo ai ka mo tu ki gon ne ko nyo ki bion ki mako ki di gal ko no kita ke timo kere gene down chalu Gaddafi gini So, tika tamani nanchalo kano twere en mere swearing in ibin ki computer. Ki ket any computer machal manoti ki gange. Ki kere computer. Gino kena ma wek ben tamni mere ki e team gine ani ki computer wek pe bin any come kololo. Pien Janet ko berichani come pere. Chi en tamni down bu pe nyu ya Janet ko dakti kwene. Wek ngo ki kachani ka i state house kunu mano ki kere computer ki ramo temu toy mo ki goma tata beri wai kori jembo ma down beru kere sakas no ki keru ki chwoyo wang Janet ki gimo mano ki tema tata wek gimo bed chokere chalu Janet wek down tami Janet got a poto ineno. So one of the challenges of him attempting or coming to the swearing in, he's very fearful and scared that in fact when he does come to Kololo, something might happen, like it happened to Gaddafi. They may attack him. He may get hit through the airspaces and all that. And that's why in recent days, you have seen a lot of helicopters flying around, you know, just causing a lot of fear among his people in Uganda, in the Kampala area. He's also afraid that if he comes by himself, because Janet is not there, he's worried that people are going to question and say, well, where is Janet? Where is Janet? You know, then they'll begin to believe that she passed away. So he feels like he may need to swear on Zoom, okay? There'll be a big screen in Kololo without Museveni's physical presence. He'll do it from his state house or whatever, in the bedroom or whatever, wherever he can be. And also maybe in the process, they can mechanically make something or person to look like Janet, you know, mold it like they do in movies. They can make any character, you know. They can try to posture somebody like Janet beside him. Or they can use old videos that were recorded of both of them and put a stream, cut and paste, you know, AI and all of that, and have like a Janet figure by him. But he doesn't have Janet to come with to Kololo. So that's one thing he's really fearful of, having Ugandans feel like, you know, she's gone or she's no longer with him. Okay? So, luor ni down wachi Kololo gina Janet on nenchal don kwano renyoko. Pianen putia tam ni down tam ni Janet kwa konti kwane. Okay? So luor buberu tagade da awinyi kimero boro dano ki gina dege lwen dege monyi ubeberi wiyamuni bir kuberi chani do chakote mero awinyi la wo beru tun Kampala kenyu kare mano en chochoki nena dendwa para bichi dege do beberi mere di wiyamu kenyu me ponu kom dan wek dan po kat ki ot dan po kat dan po chet po warata ta do bedpe boda keken kimete boda bedpe di Kampala boda ma beberi kin ping chochok ene ni pa dindwa para bichi wen ki bi mako gero ki bi tuyu gero ki tima tata wek boda bet pepe yan Museveni tawni jome Uganda ko waigi ala wan chel chi no pago bi no yo gina dongi luoro ena ye jam ko ti me Kampala madana wati mutaka ki bi pake ngi gwing mano yo pere megin gine donyo katima tata chigi tamni down gamento butuo madana Uganda ko nena umako jam I border eastern border western border south border kawengwe border Sudan kacha ko nena mutaka lori madani chero chungo ka parking o yoli gwing utuju taya we gamento ni tu dakera benpe o ineno. So they're afraid of traffic jams. They're afraid of border people because they fear of people gathering together to be able to cause or topple the government. You know, it has happened in many places. In Nepal, successfully they did. People in the streets, traffic jam, young youth running all over places, burning the courthouse, burning the parliament, burning the president's house. They were successful in a revolution that changed their government from a dictatorship for many years. Jome Nepal utorgamento egi kumenu. Kikeru jami yo. Lutino mo en bulu en guriyo I otchik ki wa otchik o gucher gu wa parliament o gucher gu donyo wai kaburu pa president. Ineno. Gumma o president uriyo wala bon tel la teba. Ineno. So gin ene ramutime. Chigi meti en mama toka beri yo kone ubale kone ngani eni pegi miati nen ginen kinping man gubi nen boda kibi maka ki boda lu boda ma beri de town tatani wen ki miati pego beta wara tata Museveni gutamni kano gitwero kelu gine tuo gine tuo chedo unyo tuo makelu maweko down beru lockdown no gubi temo ma fut gitika te yele yeraba And in fact, they haven't left the idea. I mentioned the idea of causing diarrhea or some kind of a disease or some condition that will cause quarantine or have people stay at home. If they can generate something like that, they will do it because they don't want people on the streets of Kampala. They don't want people. They're afraid of the jam, the traffic jam idea, because they know that is the ultimate success for a toppled government in Uganda. So that is something they're very fearful for. Okay. So down to Tigata, area, northern western Uganda, kacha. There's been a lot of death. Apparently, there's a lot of people dying in western Uganda. There's a lot of sacrifices because these people are spiritually evil people. I understand Muhoozi and Museveni, this whole 5-year term swearing in and all of that, they need at least 700 people sacrificed or dead. Ineno, Museveni giuberu lujogededa. Mana winyi kitika mieto dana moto, dana ye mia abero. Man dana matika toy Western Uganda duan ta. En pien jo lujogine ni gu or ni gu chet gu kel gu nek dana chok mia abero. Wek Muhoozi ote oto ogene oberi loch. Unyo Museveni umugam lodge enini ukongda med mwara beach enini. So because they want to continue with the stretch of these 5 years and then eventually Muhoozi for his life, they are trying to get 700 sacrifices, and I will get to the details of that. But for now, that is what they're trying to do. Any deaths that are caused unnecessarily, like the link bus that nobody survived from an accident from the bus the day before yesterday. That is one of the sacrifices. The children. I also heard from a lady yesterday who said that in a part of Eastern, when at the time that this Onyum killed these 4 children, there is another sort of sacrifice that happened in that region, somewhere in Eastern region. If I remember the name, I'll interject it somehow. But they're looking for 700 people dead in Uganda as ritual sacrifices for Muhoozi to take power and Museveni to continue this Chisanja. So kimete dano ali babero dano mi abero mau mi aroto wek Museveni makke enini Muhoozi dako medekeri ya nyim mona jwaga geyo orgiba giti uriya jwaga cha weng dano me state house joma lugad makunu dongu olo giba yu Johnny donglu jogi makonye pe shawa weng no giti lokom jok en motero gi ganga Bobi Wine la nioncha magu kero lumonyo gwanyo mapol ganga Bobi Wine weng pien giti katimo tim jok neno no kiti matata ki roba pa Bobi Wine ko pien Museveni mieti gin mati kon Bobi Wine mama dan market Bobi Wine dan miro ma wode Muhoozi ineno no ke chero kiti matata ki roba te ba pa Johnny pa Bobi Wine ko o ki chero ko ki luaka ikulu ne o ko ki chero ki roba ne ma Muhoozi chero burika burne kimiti mama dan market Bobi Wine o daka ko Muhoozi ento gina roba yobu they don't dare anyone ineno. So, because he wants Muhoozi to have that thing which Bobi Wine has, the love that we have for him, naturally, only because he speaks for us and is for us, they want that to go on to Muhoozi. So the witch doctor has asked for 700 dead Ugandans to give Muhoozi the evil powers to exist in Uganda as a president and continue with the presidency like his father. Okay? So, on the count, 700. So far, there's been the Onyum's case. There's been several kids on the eastern part of Uganda. And then there was a bus, the Link bus recently. That's something that happened also. It is linked to this. But there's also going to be several bus crashes. I mean, out of nowhere, there will be additional fuel. It won't just be an accident. They will light things up so that you will have you won't even recognize who your person is. Okay, that is how badly they want this sacrifice. And I still haven't gotten to the security alerts of today. I'm going through yesterday's because I couldn't come back in in English yesterday. Okay, you heard Maiga coming to speak about having the political prisoners released. I understand Museveni is trying to give Buganda a soft blow to make them feel like, oh, Museveni now cares or Buganda now cares about the youth that are being abducted day and night. So he came out to speak, but he was given the script by the Muhoozis, the Musevenis, to come and speak about the to come and speak about the political prisoners in prison. Gina katikiro uberiwai lawang ruot lawang kabaka me Buganda kilwoni katikiro nye maega en tien lawo maja ukatikilok ni jo makimako ni nono jo Bobi Wine gini omiera ki weki dongo gugene miera ki gongi ki babuch mano kara no Museveni gia yo or ni gubin gu loko meno pien Museveni wachi gini pegu ngam dogi ilokom lutino pa maaki Buganda makimako gi juini ingeni lutino makimako gi Buganda karo milion abichoko maki maki nega mau ruenya maki wano maki ki matata duata maki maro gi jui wakubedi chawa ni put ki maro jo mati National Unity Platform mati area pole Buganda angeni tung malu kuja bana kitimo but most of the youth that are abducted are from Buganda but Museveni mentioned never, Buganda should never come out with a comment on that. So when you see Maiga coming out, it's because they've instructed him to come out and speak about those youths that have been incarcerated for no reason. Okay. The land in Mengo, all of it has been sold to Eritreans and Somalians. In the meeting last week when Maiga was there with the Salim Salehs, they discussed how to weaken Buganda. And so the best way that they've thought about doing this is to make sure Buganda owns none of its land. Okay? And Katikiro Maiga has already done that. All of the land in Buganda has been sold to foreigners, Eritreans for now, and Somalians. They have agreed to silently use foreigners, okay, in those areas because they want to make sure that when it's time for them to transition the land back into their name, it is easy because it will no longer be about Buganda. It'll be between a foreigner and themselves. Okay. So those Eritreans and Somalians will hold on to those properties when they build on those land. They will hold on to them until these people are ready, when the Musevenis or the Muhozis are ready to transition those assets back into their names. Buganda ngome Buganda pole donki charo ko weng. Gicharo ko bod jo Somalia ki jo me Eritrea. Ingeni Buganda tiki ngom madira deda. Actually mauberi areas makilwoni actually quarter tung nakawa kacha anadon tung nakawa kono. Ngom madano beri ye pole no beru ngom pa gine. Oberu ngom pa kabaga me Buganda. Kabaga po ngom yani wekdano beri ye. Ento ngomene dong no pay ter matwal me wek dano beri joma kitung northern kacha mau bino beru Kampala ukwano Kampala ki ngong Buganda jolo wa mau mini wa kabero inerwe chingome ene piani ngi ko beri chani Museveni boy wi kabaga peromu wa iluwie peromu wa lok gimoma no Museveni gipo ye ni uloke inero ko beri chani luteno Buganda tumoko kito kichere mabuch ki ngong gini peye ni guloke kom jami matika time kom lutiano ge en wa Buganda lingi tiki karaman Maiga maka mauber la wanka bagani o charo ngo lip weng bot gene Somalia jomai Somalia ki Eritrea en la gichar bot gini wa gu mak mere igi gu goti mak ne igi pian diri maja ka dong mo hozi gido doni ba ngome ne dong gu be loko ba ki asset ki je magu jono kere ni weng dongi loko do megi kubeli chani mer fut kimiti joni ayo mak ngome. Okay, Buganda, you need to wake up. If not, you are going to remain visitors or guests on your land. Eni nikiwachi eni bedakpe Buganda kekenba. Buganda actually Uganda jo keme gene weng kitika wachi mane ni lokba aki eni odgi kunu tie dano madong pe meru joni ya. Ini am jo agwago gi jo aberu ket gi jo ma gi ora tata jo ma gitima tata ni we. Dano do o loko ki joni. Madong gin bene kira mo kendo gi mera loga. Eni weko loke ni kata kumane. Man gitia wai uyabu wangu ba jo Uganda. Au yabu wangu unero. Tie ministers ki jo mo ma tiu bod gi endo joni do o loko ki joni. Meeting more minister aki eli pap tuki chwa loko bod wai nero we. So gitika wachi uyabu wangu Buganda. Open your eyes. If not, you are going to be visitors. Kapebu beru wele iganwu, ingomu, igangwu. So au yabu wangu ugene uketek unene Johnny Paul mayungomu. Just put your eyes, wake up, and make sure these people do not take everything away from you because that is what they are doing. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to move on to the security alerts that need to go out today. Okay. Abi chero donka loko security alert money ni mapier tek tutwale. Okay. Obachaka kikany. Okay. Starting here. All people who are in the diaspora who are doing demonstrations, please, 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 let's focus on the ICC headquarters, exposing the sovereignty bill and Museveni and the DR forms continuing to be requested. Please focus on the ICC. Also focus on Washington, D.C. because Washington, D.C. is where they're most afraid of. Inano, Joma timo demonstration. Au tek I area me ICC. Inano, kama ICCT yani. Can you tek adida uneni kat dore tie ki chet ki dore inyim ICC ki bene I Washington DC kama ngo President me America beriye. Inano. Piano awinyi meeting mago beriye la woni go wachini kunu dong luor ti ye matek pien pegging ngo ma Trump giti katamune pien report ma aki bot Amnesty International o wajuni kiket wang matek Uganda pi loko Museveni ki jema Museveni tika temone Uganda ineno ki penyu bena ni jo ma orwen lutien moni ma guwana deda unyo jomi moti me ikar me election in dwapar bij me do ma cheli report me jeme on tikwane. Where is the report? So the reason why in this meeting they discuss a lot of fear for Washington and the ICC is because we continuously feed the ICC with information. We continuously feed Washington, D.C. with information. We have flooded them with all manner of information about what is going on in Uganda. And the other thing also, the Amnesty International report asked about what accountability Museveni has for the events of the January 15th 2026 general election in Uganda. So he's very fearful. They are very scared about what can come out of Washington any minute. This is why Museveni does not want to swear in physically. He wants to swear in via Zoom because he believes something or somebody, President Trump, I hope he does, can just come on down and take him down. So he's fearful of that. And so when we demonstrate in the diaspora, let us focus on the ICC. Let us focus on Washington, D.C. This is inside information that will help us transition this government and get it out of this place where it is right now. So let us focus demonstrations in the ICC area. Let us continue sharing information. My report today goes straight to the ICC and to State Department because of the intensity of the security alerts, okay? So they are also planning to make this this term diverted, okay? They are trying to target and kill all National Unity Platform MPs. Awachi wunene Gian magimete gitim kumberi chawani katam enini gukaro ma swearing inu timme gimete MPs weng ma beru nup mier ginek gyogo ineno mier ginek MPs magukaro inye ite nup gin weng jo ma chalo leader of opposition Joel Senyo nyigi jo ma titungang kunu jo weng mati in National Unity Platform plan tieni o mier ginek gyogo kache gutier gutimu ginegi swearing in Gina wakonyo Ugandans NIA Jo Maukaro under Noop Paul Cherry swearing in. This I'm going to speak in English also. Anybody who is a member of Parliament of Noop who got elected legitimately, please do not go to the swearing in ceremony. Do not swear yourselves in. A few reasons why, if you go and swear yourselves in, you become a target for getting eliminated. You will have given up the struggle. You will still get tied up in courts because they want to make sure you people do not stay members of parliament. You will risk being at that event and picking something that will end your life just like they planned. The easier way they can do it, microphones or whatever, is the only way they're going to apply this. So do not, National Unity Platform members of parliament, if you want to live and you want to sustain your position, do not give Museveni legitimacy. If you go and swear in as party in the opposition, you are giving him legitimacy. You are saying he won. You are saying your struggle has not been worth anything. Basically, that this struggle is meaningless. Basically, that we can stop here now because you have gotten what you want and Museveni is your president. So swearing in means you're saying Museveni is your president and that Museveni won the election fairly and squarely and that you know that you saw the DR forms, therefore you certify, you're putting your signature that Museveni truly did win the election. This swearing in ceremony does not make you qualified or bona fide as a member of parliament before the eyes of the Musevenis. They want you eliminated. So dano mati nu mobero MP maukarukui. Po chero chich swearing in kuno wachini wundo beru MPs. Pienka wachi wundo beru MPs. Manyuri no utika yeni Museveni ukarukui. Utiba naka yeni struggle eni wunka no utika tuka. Utika yeni gina Museveni utimu plani ye me dekera nyim kado eno swearing in chalu ne kuno wenge utika ye gina ne ginu kene be no do poko ko wo opien poison mo beru kuja limit na beru pe kibi poko poison chalu yam madanu yueyo. You know, poison will be like oxygen on scene at that place and they don't care. They know how to make sure everybody gets a dose that they like. Ginyu yomen kuberi chando Museveni popi children li tapa kimu dogoli chachi papa. No. Kineko down donke yat. Yat eni kiram kerne microphone. Yat eni kiram mini gina mara. Yat eni down mken ruki wagi. Yat eni jo mken kikere we come. Pian kunyoni kibi wachi kompa ngarumane en. Ini cheri beri komi no dos do ramaro. Iya kunu don cheri chito ni gangu. So there are many ways that they will use this poison that they have. They can put it on the chair since you have assigned seating. They can put it on the microphone since it's going to be the same microphone, the same judge, or the same I don't know if Biabakama will be there. There is a debate that Biabakama may not be there because Biabakama also fears for his life. He doesn't like what is happening, but he's forced to seem like it doesn't exist. Biabakama doesn't say yay or nay because he's in a place where he can't. He can't come. So it is likely Biabakama will not be there on the swearing in ceremony and his assistant might be the one to do the job. A lot of fear. A lot of fear. Yes, Miriam, I saw Mama Kampala is back in town. It is even hard to speak about how she has done things. But at some point, we reap what we sow. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay? As for Shamim Malende, we all reap what we sowed. I don't know what our circumstances are. So I'll leave that at that. Okay? So let me focus on what I'm going to do here today. So they've also prepared to remove all MPs. Like I said, they have their children in every district. Every district that was cut and recreated, all of those have their children and relatives. Salim Saleh has children in almost every district and tribe. Muhozi, similar. And so is Museveni. In fact, there is a lady called, the biological daughter of Museveni is called Mutasingwa. She's an MP who replaced Judith Babidie. She was not born in the constituency where she ran or was appointed or made member of parliament. That area is called Wigwe. That woman, Mutasingwa, is Museveni's biological child. Okay? They made sure she won, just like they're now going to do when they're going to replace all new members of parliament through by-election, because they will seem legitimate. You see, because when Museveni, let's say if these people go and swear in, the new people, and Museveni successfully swears in, what that means is that Museveni is legitimately the president and that the sovereignty bill is now in full ride action and that the members of parliament who agreed and swore in as their opposition or whatever members of parliament are now agreeing, okay? The members of parliament are agreeing that Museveni is a legitimate president. Therefore, whatever Museveni does, because they've given up their power, is acceptable. I have so much light, it's weird. Okay, so Jome Noob Ko Chero Mau ye ni will be swearing in Mamu 70 well 70 ugana udar members of gana udar president. Gien mano dong wunu ye ena ni bill make only sovereignty bill dong mier dong timi kom hu kita dong en ye miero. Ineno. Dok bene kache dong en dong kar na rom me en gwetu bo piano bo gweru jome lupo wo bo kwanyu gyo weng. Obo kwanyu member MPs panu po wen bu do bu loju ki luteno ne latina chel pa museveni mati example tie kama kilwoni bu ikwe oberu district ma yang dago ma kilwoni Judith Babiri ma weru we gospel adadani ya oberu MP ka kenyu anu ne mani kar en magitim election ne dago enini bene pe anywali ma kenyu ba ento kitaki waini o choma ni o kwanyu ki kamoni latina money ni o kelo man gimit luteno go ber MPs o ka wen. They want MPs, their family and children in every district or area or region. That is the goal. That is what they want to achieve. All their kids to be representatives everywhere. And maybe that's why they had hundreds of them. Okay? My goodness. I'm trying to get the sun out of my face, but okay. All right. So moving on. Okay, so that's Buikwe. 70% of the incoming parliament is Museveni's family. 70%. Percent Pierre Bero. Majo manyan matika donyi parliament ni. Weng wari ki ki lurempa Museveni gi. Weng wari pa Museveni gi. Inke go. 70% of the incoming parliament are relatives or children of Muhozi. Of Museveni and Salim Saleh, their family. 70% of the current or the incoming parliament is the relatives of Museveni's family. Imagine how much that is affecting just the regular Ugandan. How do you succeed and when? When? There's no possibility. Okay? If you let this happen, you're giving away that power. You're giving it to them to do what they're trying to do. Okay? If you want to prove it, look around you and see the members of parliament of your region and see if they truly grew up in that area where they came or where they serve. And they were declared from LC5 all the way to member of parliament. All of those are the relatives of those people, not legitimate Ugandans who sought for votes and got elected. No. Joma gugene percentage piera bero kolo oberloteno pa Museveni gi ina Salim Saleh wari gi kiloteno ge dano percent piera bero mati MP mago bini parliament manyani illo Uganda long luteno pa joni. Okay? Kape ye inke ngi joma ukaro I area wu unen ka joni yani kinywalo gi kuno. We know ni Johnny and Kikelu kama pat chikichibugia chiba. Dok bene queenie kimini gi kikwalo kui kimini gi queenie gena lawyer kui. Kuno dako. Okay. So moving on to the intents. This one, tweet, share, break it up, do whatever you need to do. I'm now going to go down the list of the security alerts from today. Kama yani dong security alert manyen matine. Tineno. Abi kwano gi kore. Pokita yu mero kay mero gene temene nuchu ina do ingeyo yo mo ke ken wu sharing loka enini adeda. Okay, hold on just a minute. Let me park a different way. Koku kong manak wa chenge dong ti wa ye. Let me try to get to a different location here. There we go. All right, awesome. Okay. So this part that I'm getting into, I almost want to do a different video, but let's not. Part any mada donye any don't lock ma pere tek loyo ma miero pore u sharing kito twaro kede neno man lock ma lobo kom ma doge kom kache Johnny go swearing in, Mama Museveni do swearing in, ngo mago betemo plan magitikere, makichoa plan ma raja dida. Okay? So these are terrible plans that they have for Ugandans if they swear in, including National Unity Platform, Bobby Wine, His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu, indigenous Ugandans, and on and on and on. Okay? First thing, as I mentioned earlier, they want to destroy, obliterate NUP. National Unity Platform will not exist henceforth. Go watching pati makilwani NUP. Pedo boberu tie ilobo Uganda. Karini ngo. Teki dongeni mako kini. Okay? So, NUP party headquarters to be sealed off by police SFC deployment and any other political party. So, headquarter pa NUP go be mayo or weng go be boyo or ki mon ki SFC ka weng ento give me te don gine po be chalo NUP ke kenba. So kibiti me chalo be na giti ka keto and security elne kamu kene chalo party mu kene headquarter chalo FDC gene wunu ngeni FDC pa dawe FDC pa besi jeni oberu gena yang mera gutte matata geni besi jegi work and Museveni nene YT democracy inano. So they are going to seal off National Unity Platform headquarters in Kampala and maybe other branches too, to make sure that they don't have access to and from. All of the executive arms of NUP will not have access to there. Obviously, then nobody else. So just like they did to Bobby Wine's home, they're going to seal off National Unity Platform headquarters. So they don't want this to look like an attack on NUP only. So they're going to also attempt to do this with the Oboy Amuriat, whatever that name is, Amuriat. Yes, Oboy's office. Some FDC offices are going to be, they're going to have 1 or 2 SFC people just go and walk around, but they will have tight security at the National Unity Platform offices because 2 things. As I told you, these people are evil and always are using witchcraft. They want to go into the offices, Muhozi and the father, to go and perform witchcraft activities. The other thing is they want to make sure there's no traffic in Kampala in those areas. As you know, the office is right dead center in Kamocha. So they want to make sure that Kamocha, or that area of National Unity Platform headquarters, is free of traffic at all. So that Muhozi and Museveni can go and perform their rituals. I don't know if they want to sit in Bobby Wine's chair. They want to use his computer. They are dying to have what Bobby Wine has. The love that Bobby Wine has from us. They want it to automatically go on to Muhozi. But they don't know that people, how you treat people is what they remember the most. And we have suffered under this government that it is time to just seek change by all means. Okay? So they're trying, that's the reason, 2 reasons they're trying to do that is so that Museveni swears in without any traffic in Kampala, and also so that they can stifle traffic into National Unity Platform offices. And the other thing is such that they can go and perform their evil rituals in the office of His Excellency Chagulanyi Sentamu, obviously, and the deputies and all that. Okay? All city centers to be sealed off by heavy deployments of the military. As I mentioned, that Museveni still debates swearing in on Zoom or appearing physically. So these guys, his team, the SFCs, have promised him safety and security, which means they're now going to do everything possible to try to make it seem secure for him to come and have the guts to come out and swear in at Kololo. Okay? So because of that reason, they're trying to depopulate the city, Kampala, and also try to keep Ugandans away from the streets, especially National Unity Platform, because they know that we are hungry for change and, we could do anything. The other thing I forgot to mention is that the military and police the military of Uganda are not going to be actively around and available in the streets of Kampala around the time he swears in. He has militia from outside countries because they don't trust Ugandans. He believes that the hearts of Ugandans of the military of Uganda is with Ugandans, and they also want change. The military of Uganda wants change. So they're going to keep them in the barracks, lock up all of the armory so that they don't have access to any of that. Because they know if Ugandans are on the street and the military are on the street and they have the ammunition, they could overthrow his government on that day. Okay? Next thing. So, before I forget, gina gimero gino well gitika miete gi law office panupo ko giket lo mon SFC ye ki lo mon mo kana ni pien gimieti Museveni gene ubode gimieti gi chat gi tem jock e at e office Bobby Wine kacha pien jui kamuke ken ma Bobby Wine ti ye gimieti gi tem jock we gi kwan ma ti kon Bobby Wine ko kimi ki wode ma muhozi madan pe merone neno gino ken ma bene gimieti gitika luora da ni Ugandans kache dano mago kachwin dano gena udago tega da gira mo kwanyu gamente giro man wa bore peke mere yo geno wa ke mete ki bo office for National Unity Platform ko ki lumonyi ena ye work jo me National Unity Platform pego bet ka wore office ko aki office giber ka war tata ginene dong pege mero lo pege mero war tata pian gi ngeni dano rom lo ko tamgi ke tor gamente dakira di keken neno all city centers to be sealed off by heavy deployment of military. Kampala wen kuberichani ubinero lumon madua deda. Kuberichani lumon ma aki Uganda, nyoli ma Uganda. Peki yegi in mechero, ene gena is swearing in ndwa para bich pego bichero. Lumon ma buberi di Kampala kapono komdane buberi lumon ma aki Central Africa, unyo Tanzania, unyo Kenya, ilo mapat. Pian gen pegan lumon Uganda pian gingeni twin lumon Uganda twin ti bodjo Uganda dok pian gen mera loka man go be beri barracks kaneno kacha no we mudo wenki lor wiego lumon ma aki Uganda peke bi yegi me kati me bine di Kampala kenyo gukelo lumon ge Rwanda bo oli wak maka wen Kampala wen ko beri chaka neno ene adi ene no wen ki boyo ki mon ken all of Kampala will be heavily militarized. As you saw the other day when they went to one of the arcades to arrest youth over something to do with cell phone loss or whatever the case might be, you saw the military. They, it's unnecessary to have military go over investigating 4 cell phones. They arrest, 100 people over 4 cell phones that they said were gone missing. Kiwai chima ngwen kikwalo ki kono muta ikafero kacha aked Kampala kacha ento ki mako lutiano bulu chok mia chel pong lori pa police kenen giti kamiete ki kwany lutiano ma youth piani neno joma tika toro kamente wi lobo kunyoni chalo Madagascar lutiano mateno Nepal lutiano matero bulu ineno so giluoro bulu da eno wel gimete gitu National Unity Platform ko piano ber bulu keken dok bulu mati di Kampala in ghetto youth ni wen kitika mako ki mako mia di ni na chel no ki kero gimo mer manok ni ko lugu kwalo chima ngwen down mia chel kwalo chima ngwen ni no chaka ni ineno so gimete gi mak Johnny gi deal gi oi mabuji wek ikara mano Museveni kat ni bino ka swearing in no Kampala donki en ki Johnny keken. So, mono weng luor, undo nano teko wokenywe. Do you see the power of the people there? There is a lot of strength, and that's why they fear you, because they know that if Ugandans decide at once that this is it, Museveni will end up like Gaddafi, in a trench somehow. So, get the strength, somehow find it, get it in there, and let's do this thing. Everything that they're doing is because they're fearful. They fear the power of the people of Uganda. Johnny Luoru Teropa Jo, Annualime Uganda. Makadan Wagi Arola Wanchelwe, Johnny Peboro. Wangcha Chel no Uganda Laka. Gament Pajomu Kanama Loka Nepal Guinea. Pepano Buruniana Chel. Lieutenant Chwenyu Jammy Wang, President of Marongwech. While Lomukane, Jerky Barre. Ineno alora payon te Mexico kan alora megamento te make dakira dano a malo buwai dog gangtin pe wanga jonyo gute mo meno gen wa por di ba gen wa oi de guri lori madon kichubutaya mutaka matiano kichubutaya peti word dog tun kan peti dog kacha jocha ma ngwech pian ka dong no pion lora ko men manyutene Jomu kena ndong tika birnege. Gipeki yo mengwech, gipeki yo megimoke ken. So Ugandans wake up. They know for a fact that the wave of change has been because of youth. In Nepal, in Madagascar, in Mexico. It is because the youth took to the streets, they were fed up, they were done, and the deal was done. So that is why they are fearful about having youth on the streets. That is why on that day, it'll seem like a day that we lost somebody. There'll be nobody on the streets except them, just a few of them, okay? And they'll go and swear in and go home. They won't last long to celebrate, no. Even if they will fund celebrations all over the nation, at least they won't be in Kampala, okay? Next thing, all politicians whom they fear to lead people to rise, especially National Unity Platform party members, are to be sealed off from their homes, not to move out. So National Unity Platform leaders who command a lot of attention. Imagine when Bobby Wine came into town, everyone left what they were doing and followed him. So because because there's going to be celebrations, usually with a swearing in, everybody comes with their team. They have celebrations, they have a party. To avoid all of that, they are going to seal off family members and people of National Unity Platform leadership who are supposed to be heading out to swear. So if somebody is going to swear in, he'll go alone. Joel Senyoni could go by himself if he did. Any other member of parliament will go by himself. All their homes will be sealed. There will be no party. There'll be no celebration. There'll be no such thing as people on the streets saying, oh, our person won, Mama Kampala and all of that. That will not be happening. All this is because they are fearful of the power of the people. Okay? So they will seal them off. People like Joel Senyoni, Louis Rubongoya, Mama Lina Zedriga from, or Nup Mbale leader, which is Nambeshi. Okay? So Nambeshi, Joel Senyoni, Louis Rubongoya, will be sealed off in their homes and not allowed to move around. Okay? So the reason the thing that's causing them a lot of stress also is the fear that we're asking for DR forms constantly. We want legitimate reason why Byabakama said that those people, that Museveni won. We need proof that Museveni actually did win the election, because so far he did not. And that is starting to bite them in the rear because they know that they did not win the election. So guwachi gube mago jome nup moguma ludir madon chalo Joel Senyoni gi Louis Rubongoya gi Lina Zedriga Nambeshi gi ludir men National Unity Platform gube boyu gi oigangi no kichwalo lumon mabo chero gwako gi gwaka gang peke bi ye gube karo bene celebration mabo beru peni kon ni ukaro kui kon utim swearing in madano ki bieno ki teru gang ki beru ki gorani peke bi ye menno bene peke bi ye ni gu worata tapien kwa gu woro jui dano woro ko gi nyo dano yigi yom ne arkere Bobby Wine yanko udonyo kamoni wajoti lwako lutien no weko lutien pi nyo reo ke latien mano latien komedia pien pima pi power people power pi maro ngate eno malatela eno ne. So any number D, that's number 4. Again, another thing that they want to do is that in every region, they want 7 buses of staged accidents. 7, hold on, let me read this well. So, all regions of Uganda, okay, like north, east, west, south, and central, they want in each region 7 bus accidents where the people will die. This is part of the sacrifice. Guwa chikimeti dano baja dano pong baja bero o miera guto in region mapat keketi northern Uganda baja bero, eastern baja bero, western dana baja bero. My bad accident in Gina yobe ano bo yobo. Menano ni dano to mogoi accident. Inano. Wek gito oli weng wek ngo jok pa Museveni gini o matremu pi dano mia bero. Gimiero to dano mia bero ma pia Museveni o chero chi swearing in. Before the swearing in ceremony, he wants 700 Ugandans dead. That is what his witch doctor has asked him for. So those bus accidents are going to be staged. 7 in each region. I'm talking northern, central, eastern, south. All those regions, 7 organized, staged bus crashes. I'm talking burned to ashes. Irrecognizably burned. Okay? So, in that comment, yes, Joanne, in that comment where Anita Among said this is the Last Supper during the passing of the sovereignty bill. Anita Among said that meeting was Joel Senyonyi and the New People's Last Supper, meaning that after that it is death and nothing else. When Jesus had his Last Supper, the next day he was dead. So that is because of the preemptive knowledge of what the Musevenis are going to do. She said something like that. She said it was the Last Supper. And when Joel said, what do you mean by that? She did not repeat it. It was a word that meant way more than face value of what it means. Not a meal, but the idea of what happened to Jesus in the Bible. When he had his Last Supper, he did not live the next day. These people know what the plans are and what's going to be done and when. So they've had huge celebrations over passing the sovereignty bill. In fact, every Ugandan who did register for Ndagabuntu while living abroad, kiss your property, land, whatever you have in Uganda, goodbye. Because with that database from the Ndagamuntus, they have enough data to go and unplug and pull all your properties in your name, whether you inherited it or you purchased it. All those items are now going to be theirs because they have full detail with data relating to your Ndagamuntu. Jo mati beru wa magu chergu chone kone gimero Ndagamuntu. Pian Museveni or dana wa wen lobuba. Ilo mawaho ni kuchet gucho jo Uganda mati wa mero Ndagamuntu. An bene ki wacha team enta kwera go pian ngoma money tika money. So jo ma chergu chone ni gino Ndagamuntu ni. Meru gina Museveni wuti ukere mekwanyu jami wuo weng mati Uganda. Ki ite chiek dong pien sovereignty bill do karoko. Ki biti ki sovereignty bill enini. Mekwanyu jami ukono ni jami mati gang. Unyo jami ma yini wila chalo ngom ki ngongo gini. Weng dong pe nyingu pien data magu chone ni kikero kon nyingu daga muntu wuki ngongo gini. Forget. Jami ane weng do budoko megi. Piano ngingi nga manyi nga matiki ID number ko ni number mo beti ningi dong go be kwanya tie jame ne weng dong dog megi. Okay, Museveni is afraid to go to Kololo, but they have assured him that they are going to give him maximum security for him to go and swear in at Kololo. But you will not set eyes on Janet Museveni if Museveni goes to Kololo. However, if he swears in from home, they are going to make a mannequin look like Janet sitting right next to Museveni. They will likely use either a mannequin or use an old video of Museveni because they had been taping those preempting change in the future. They could use an old video. So watch out for AI generated things and weird dates. Okay. So they're going to use whatever they can. If he does it via Zoom, you will see Janet. If he does it physically, you will not see Janet in Kololo. Museveni ka uneno awinyi tika luoro cher Kololo adida pian ngeni karamu ne ka okikono nyo ki mayo gamente mayen no ti di Kampala ki kome manono nkarimbo ber peni chi jone SFC ni guwachi bedmon muse wabi mini security mateka dida wek ngo ini o Kololo mabe. So Museveni ka obino Kololo general ber pe era Museveni ka utimo ginani swearing in ki State House kacha make kera TV kibikero unen gimani make kera jo achar bane unen gina ki ru dole mani make ru ye bane we kibitimo ki gina kite yani ki boy tata ki time kere kenyu beri wai no bo beri dano ka peche ko botiu ki video machon manon ki mako AI kunyoni ramu ngolo gi moy kan kubuka moy kan yubo video beri no beri wai gina kitimo ku beri chawani. So unu ko unen mene mo bo porka kwene pien ki iye kacha no SFC ka kena ye ramu mako video manongo transmitting chwalo Kololo kacha dan mero beru Kololo pian MPs mukana buchar Kololo ento Museveni machalo la death ceremony machalo ena ema bino ka swearing in e president pobe beru kunu kache uburama temune Zoom unyoka beru kunu en kane neno. Okay, biaba kama kita wachibuni biaba kama dental popo beri gene e Kololo kacha bien aba which media reforms ukar wiego gen ma gobe timo gobe gene kache ngarmo ken mo bochero ka beru mano aki representation ma aki electoral commission Obebiru ki file ma en pien dong watika penyo diara form tutwale. Gube mako file en ni mere ki wai wacho mer diara form we. File en do ki bi kero file ma dira da ki kero male mere men yutu nani en file ma diara form tiye. En no kitika bolu wang dano. Ki bi bolu dana bola pien gina mere gu team ki diara form en no mere gu kero newspaper. Mere gu gazetting mere bena gu ker online website by electoral commission. Wek dan wa nen gu yeni Museveni ukar ku yada. Ento pien ni pe gu kar ku gitika kana kibitima tata ki file malayan taki wai file diara form en chiki berumot file ni benong renyo ko dan weng dong wachi form netal berche ento po bi now diara form monke ken po bi berche pien diara form ti chingjo mau beri polling station wa kombedi chawani gina yelu Museveni gi en madong inero gu cher gu mer wango ata bobi wino go gu timatata office no kiker ki donyo cha mo ken ki kwalu jemini gi meru no diara form ento diara form wakan wakamoni ineno. So the DR forms, because we keep asking about them, if Biarakama or whoever comes from the electoral commission who will be swearing them in and whatever, what they're going to do is have a file that is really stacked up, okay? They're going to have a physical big file folder. And in the midst of the argument of DR forms or whatever, if Biabakama comes or not, whoever will be fitting in his shoes will take that huge file, lift it up and present it like the Lion King presented Mufasa. Like Mufasa presented the Simba. He's going to lift the file like this for a moment and then say, the DR forms are here. If you have questions, they're all in here. You can come and take a look for yourself. Really, what they're going to be doing is just to say, to get Ugandans off asking for DR forms. Those are not actual DR forms because all the DR forms from the polling stations locally in Uganda where people voted and results were fed in the system are still with National Unity Platform offices. And that's the reason why Museveni has raided Bobby Wine's home, raided every Noop office, because he's looking for those forms. And that's why there was that BS suit about from the peasant candidate who went and sued, saying that he's suing because he's unsatisfied about the election results. Meanwhile, he was the last of the results. He was the loser of the election. The reason why he went to try to sue is to try to bait Noop into coming in to say, hey, by the way, let's go in together. Here, I have the DR forms. Let's go and present these facts. Then the Musevenis would go and take those forms and be able to present them officially. But they are stuck with the fact that they don't have the forms and yet the actual forms exist. National Unity Platform has all the DR forms that were at polling stations. And that's what keeps Museveni sleepless. Okay? So whether he comes or not, there won't be that. Another thing they're going to do is set a building on fire with a lot of people inside. I'm telling you, the sacrifice issue is a huge thing for them because when Museveni came into Uganda, he came with a lot of bloodshed. Now that Muhoozi is coming in, they have to do the same. So in one of the regions, if you hear of a big building with a lot of people burned down, it is part of the sacrifice that they're trying to do. That is something that they plan on doing before swearing in, before the 15th of May. They're going to do that. Okay? And one of the buildings is in the city. They are also going to burn in Tororo, Hoima, Kayunga, Iganga, Kabale, Mbarara, Kasese, Jinja, Gulu, and Arua. Okay? So, in case there are road accidents and fires or fire outbreaks in all those areas, it is all state planned. Let me read the areas again. They want to burn buildings with people inside, like when they do arcades. You know how congested those arcades can be. They want to light up in Tororo, Kampala, Hoima, Kayunga, Iganga, Kabale, Mbarara, Kasese, Jinja, Gulu, and Arua. So, John Nitika Wachi, and yo menongo jo mia beero magine, maremo pa magine, ajwaka pa Museveni merone. Tied orimogo madon, a chair beri Kampala, magimeta gi wang manopong, madan pong ye, orimogo beri wai chuke, chal chuk guru, inano. Give me a tigi wang odd mama down point. Man of a very way ditching, no down metia to mere business attack, kita juini. Kape, kagutimi, gubetima cheli Kampala, kibi wow, odd madiri Kampala, ori mukena magube wang, beri tororo, uberi hoima, uberu kayunga, uberu iganga, uberu kabale, uberu mbarara, uberu kasese, uberu jinja, uberu gulu, uberu arua. Inano. So, ka winyu, ka nano ni kimoti ka wankamane ungeni, mono sacrifice pa Museveni gi, ajwaka ti owachi ki mero remo maduan deda. Okay? Another meeting where Museveni was by himself. This was after they had met together with Salim Salem Muhoozi and the mafias planning the atrocities before this. Another meeting that he had. Okay, another meeting that he had is one of the sacrifices which the witch has asked for is one of the traditional leaders. So one of those leaders is going to be taken out. If not, one of the government leaders currently also will be among the dead. Another thing they want to do is Museveni and Muhoozi, they have performed a lot of rituals on 666 cows. You know the number 666 is associated with the devil? So, they have planned parties in different regions of Uganda to celebrate, to show as if they are celebrating the win of Museveni, to try to make it look like people are happy Museveni has won or is now the president or whatever. In those different places, they are going to bring or distribute these 666 cows. Remember, those are 3 sixes. Those are signs of the devil. Those cows have already had rituals performed on them. Those cows are going to be distributed to be eaten in the different regions. And those are further rituals to get people spiritually connected with the Museveni's witch doctor. Okay? So it is some sort of sacrifice that is linked to witchcraft. It's not because Museveni wants to give you 6 cows or whatever. This is associated with the number 666, which is the devil's number. This is how evil these people are. Okay? They are also going to go and visit every kingdom in Uganda. Museveni and Muhoozi will go there to bathe in the kingdom. Like, for example, in Buganda, they are going to take a bath in front of Bulange, Mengo. Okay? In front of the Engalabi. He has to secretly meet the king. Okay, so he's going to figure out how to meet every kabaka, every king, or every traditional leader, cultural leader in Uganda. He's either going to meet them publicly or secretly. But in Buganda is where he's going to put his main strength, where they're going to bathe in front of the Engalabi. In front of the Engalabi site, which is in front of Bulange. When you notice security around that area, just know that Museveni is going to do some evil activity in the area. They are also going to go back to His Excellency Chagulanyi's home to Magere to perform extra witchcraft activities. All this is going to happen before the 15th. Okay? Museveni has done so much, but these are supposed to happen before they swear in. This witchcraft is going to be performed by Museveni and Muhoozi in front of Bulange Mengo, in front of the Engalabi. You people know that I don't even know where that place is. I don't know where the Engalabi. Just so you know that this is very factual and truthful. I am not physically there. I have not seen any of these things. I couldn't make it up. I know it sounds strange, but it is true. Okay? It is very, very, very true. So the next item. The next item on the event on the day of the swearing in ceremony, Museveni is going to present Muhoozi, like I said, like in the Lion King, where King Mufasa presents Simba. like a new child is born or a new king is born, he's going to present Muhoozi by giving him a really a big medal and reading a resume about what Muhoozi has done, blah blah blah. You know, I forgot to translate a couple of things here. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, then I'll come back here. Kileba chole wa ikon gimoni che we will end. Museveni obebinu kaneno rodi me Uganda go weng. Obineno gi ida ka wangdano unyo charo neno gi mano gina rio ke ken gene ruot kamoni ke ken. Gin mo kene ma eno botimu ki dano mi abiero ma en ajwa wa uteni. Obi kwanyu jo mo kene boberu lutela mogo mati cultural leaders mogo katwere obo kwanyu cultural leader ma chel kwane obo kwanyu ko pa cultural leader chel kapega chi boberu dano mati government dano madire lobo Uganda manoti dano nywali me Uganda gien mu kene mo betimu bo cher ka tim jok ganga Bobby Wine doge ubi winyu dok ni lumon dago boyo ganga Bobby Wine ko office pa Bobby Wine bene kibi boyo ko no go cher ka tim tata gien jok mu kene mo bo cher ka tim ne ene bo chero i Buganda kama kilwoni bulange kama ka baga beri ye ka chani tie bul money bul pa Buganda kunu bul ene oberu gien ma pira tega dida e gene ike pa Buganda obo chero ka luoke nyim gene enu ni oneno lok mati wachne ni beri way tim town ma pero mutama ne tama ento awaju mere pien gin man loga da ineno ka ungeyo kiwa information is power ngeno lok mini yo mano inram gwa ka kere chalo gulu makitika bai kibi wow kamani gulu mano down upon yeni no one ma winyu loke borane uram gwoke ineno yani no one ngeni miero ka uneno ni mal chake kamani dano miero reu dokacha pien kibi wow dano ki mo kingo eni pe kibi wai kibi chwenyu kibi riti ke gwer ki baiba no donki onyu mo kanya ke chwenyu kan dong liel wakacha uneno so information angeni loke ni anbene ka ana dana we loka jok an gera pangeyo ento atika titu kita loke no bino kere bora kita ki chwala kere ki bodjo ti ie kunu we nge ka uneno timeni chi wengeni gamente mati Uganda ni gamente matero to talk gamente mamiero okay Uganda ineno I'm saying these things and they sound crazy. I am not a practitioner of witchcraft, I tell you that. I don't believe in it. I don't do it anyway, not in any shape or form, but I'm sharing this information as it comes to me. I don't even understand how these apply, but I'm sure you will see signs if you are in the area. And like they say, information is power. Once you know, you can begin to undo the way you thought about Museveni and his power or his strength or whatever. He's just a useless human being. You know, everybody used to associate Museveni with some kind of mightiness. No, he's paperweight. This will help you undo the weaving of what you had about Museveni in your mind. So as much as it sounds crazy, I am not a practitioner of these things, so I don't even know how they work. But for those of you who might know, and for those of you who might be around the area, you're going to say, you know what? She said something. Oh, this is it. This is what's happening. So you can take heed and take care, and also take action when it's important. Right when it happens, you take action and you know how to protect yourself. Okay? So that's why I'm sharing this. The next thing on the list, so he's going to present Muhoozi like King Mufasa presented Simba, so that people think, oh my God, this guy is something. Look at what Muhoozi has done. Muhoozi is the guy, just to mess with the psychology of Ugandans, you know. But I know that now that you're empowered, when you see that it's going to be a whole bunch of BS, that you will know to deal with it and just dismiss it completely. Don't even put your mind to it. Ineno. Obokelu Muhoozi, gene swearing in kacha kololo kacha, obokelu gene Mitch mama dira dada obo mauching Muhoozi kero malawachi latine ni do temo tuan teach luare teach mapola ta o Muhoozi ko timeni ning Muhoozi ko temo kono luani Somalia kono temo obe kwano mera teacher Muhoozi maduong mono metu ki psychology we wa tami Muhoozi don gwa dada unano yang dan wachi kai Lord Museveni we pay wachi Museveni piano ki wachi kono berining kono tekro mene mando ngeo ki lok ma wakelo ni ungeni Museveni ka ter tu gimoy kan pe la jogaye la luora deda inano Museveni kuberichani luoro cher kololo undo nero tako padano we Museveni luoro aki State House me cher kololo kuberichani ka Museveni woro me cher kari i gene kacha Me aki Kampala, ke keti me aki City Square kenyu, me chero kerichu nakasero kenyu. Yo no kilor petting arama makaro, latuo toy morka, bapiano kitera diat, piano Museveni tika what? Museveni luor dana dek meket wine come kamane ni nanda nane, wait Johnny Nanonga. Give me a neka. So, wundo nen teru macharu dano. That is the power of the people. When two people stare at Museveni at once, he becomes fearful. He thinks they're going to kill him. So just know that Museveni is not powerful. No. No. He's just a bag of bones. At this point, Museveni is a bag of bones. That is why anytime he has to make an appearance, nobody moves. A sick person in an emergency vehicle has to die first. They will die because Museveni will not give way. So realize the power that you have as a people. Realize the strength that you have. Because this man is fearful of you. Uganda, Museveni fears you. The sovereignty bill is because Museveni fears you. All the new laws is because Museveni fears you. The deployment of military from outside, Museveni fears you. The stealing of the elections, Museveni fears you. The blocking of roads, Museveni fears you. All this is fear of Ugandans. The reason why Museveni wants to obliterate Nup, because he fears Nup. Museveni is the most fearful person in Uganda today. He does not eat food and swallow it peacefully. He's worried that he's being poisoned. His food is tested by 20 people before he eats it. 20 people have to test it and still stay alive before he can eat the food. There are certain people who don't even come close to Museveni at this point. How can you be a president and you fear people? The people you say they love you and you are leading, you are afraid of them. Museveni kuberichani luoru tibune. Dano ma belo deka Museveni mafui pia Museveni obelo. Dano pia rario kong belo deka ko. Kenen kong kagubita. Ma pia yano chamo deka yanuni. Dana rio ka oker wangu kong Museveni kuma tuke oro SFC ni uchimak ko. Ginena kumeno pika. Gimeno deka. Yang wan waluoru Museveni deda. Ko bedi wundo ngeo kwa ni Museveni gimoko. Museveni uberi wai muzee mati gankacha mawati kere gangwa kachani. Ini nen waze ma mwaka pia raboro char kere malo mano Museveni. Peti gimoma pat. Museveni uberi wai wan kiria tuara wan kang watiki gubo. Ini nen muzee mano beri gang mano peramu word mabo ma kere ucham champe pori anyway. Mano ya Museveni. Laga bena peti yu. Kansa uchamo kome nero bero gong la kira monini. Kansa uchamo miru chako nero. Museveni kuo chui adeda. En kuperi chan chel tim joke. Pian Museveni ka da. Kani utim teach kita dano weng miru ti kere me beru la dir loboni. Petwero. Museveni uchung kitero pa jomo kene. Ajwara. Bora. Tia gas. Muduru. Dege wiyamo. Lumon police beti ngeng. Lumon tika wenge. Mono tako pa Museveni. Ento kam Ugandans wachi wu gore opori di ba machwin wu wang. Kita dano temu kere Sudan. Bashir. Ki kwanyu Bashir ki office. Ki loka wela mugati. Wela mugati mede ki chilling Piera Beach. Lutiano wachi mugati bingo wela mede ki chilling Piera Beach. Dano wen opori ba. Nina di. Museveni Bashir no dompe. Museveni ka wunu wachi upori di ba we. En kwanyu mangwech. Wore do temu kita yi wumero. Jomu kene do temu kita yi awachi ni gi logo magiluor gi par dana par. Uwa Ugandans ko opore di gurichi watum. If Ugandans get on the streets, we are finished. That is how much these people are afraid of you. Ugandans, you are powerful. They are fearful of you. The sovereignty bill, everything is because they fear you. All this, you see, Museveni is just like your grandfather in the village, who is old. He cannot, his teeth are painful. He doesn't have a whole set of teeth. He cannot enjoy certain things. Cancer has eaten his whole leg. He wears a catheter. He cannot urinate by himself. He has a severe prostate problem, cancer problem. I mean, Museveni is all riddled with problems. Physically, naturally, as a human being, he's incapable. That is why Museveni relies on tear gas, threat by the military, the police, SFC this, SFC. You see those youth who are getting picked up in hundreds? If one day the youth say, you know what, we are done, this is it, and they jump into the streets and plug the streets with vehicles and slash tires and get every vehicle to sit on the streets where those people cannot go left and right, then Uganda will be a changed country. The news will break that Uganda is now a free country. Breaking news. The former president of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is no more. It's as simple as that. It takes guts. But I want you to know that Museveni is not powerful anymore. He's not. And he used to be when they said so. Museveni used a lot of fear-mongering. That is what he did to Acholi people. The LRA was cutting people's mouths, slicing their eyelids, cutting their ears, raping men. That was to make people fearful of him. And he continues to do things like this. All National Unity Platform youth that are picked up here and there, atrocities are despicable. Because he wants you out there to say, oh, is that what they did to him? Oh my God, I can't even dare do this. But that's not happening with the youth now. Jami mama 7 timi ko mabuch maki marogi. Muhozi anu kiwai buru waki diaini. Luteno diaini. Kaki maro wacho maki marogi kikergi buch konki repingil. Cho. Inde nen mono weng luoro. Mono penny gentek. Meno luoro ki saipa Museveni gi. Jami magi timo me pono kom down ni. Pien gen luo ni. Wun ka chengu ngeu. Teko wu. Ka chengu ngeu gina ti komu. Ka chengu ngeu ni wunu tek. Ubi teko gero. Man gen no gimeta gitiek wun mo kwa. Gitim jami komu mano poyo komu ededa. Ma poro mo poro mo ilu wilu mweta mo gino kane. That's the idea. Hitler utemo jami makumeno. People like Hitler did that. So you have strength in you, Uganda. You have strength that only Museveni knows how powerful you are, by the way. Do you know that you don't know how powerful you are? Only Museveni respects Ugandans and comes up with everything to dim the lights of Ugandans. Only Museveni knows how fearful he is. Only Museveni knows how powerful you are. Only Museveni knows how powerful Bobby Wine is. He's so fearful that if Bobby Wine decides to come back, he's finished. That's why sovereignty bill is in place. Ugandans, you are powerful. Only Museveni knows that. Please find it. Let me not lose track. Next item on the list. Okay, the next thing is they are going to lay off all public office workers, prisons, everybody who was involved in any part of Museveni's atrocities, anybody who is a witness. People from the prisons are going to get laid off. In laying you off, you are probably going to be already poisoned to go home and die on your own. All old military executives or higher-ups, people who were in the generals, like Elwelus, those who committed the crimes of the ones who killed people in the Kabalega. Is it Kabalega? No. Kasese. The people who massacred the Kasese people. The people who were army commanders in certain places who were sent to commit atrocities in Uganda. Because Amnesty International still desires a report from certain things, and other countries and organizations are asking for information. So for Museveni to try to die down on all people with information, he's going to fire all of them. Okay, so I'm going to read the list. He's going to lay off prison workers by retiring them, UPDF, all of these after they've already sworn in. And they will be ready to go. It'll be like signing their death sentence. That's what I'm reading here. Swearing in. Ena go be riemu lutela jomatiu kamagen berka or down katimutima chilu. Jomati prisons maguneno kitake wono kere jo noop. Jomati i military make or gika cheroka gamudan ka nekudan ka kwalu kui kitimungoge joma bear witness. Ngaruma ma teacher then about the balpa Museveni mo can kibikwanyi ki teach. And madon kikwanyi ni no rongwa ki mini poison go pede bikwa. So when they let them laid off or they let them go, they will go on to just go and die. Okay? So it is something that they're going to do to try to eliminate any evidence or people who know proof of certain things that they were sent to do by the 70 people. Legitimately, especially the atrocities committed on National Unity Platform, party people, and like foot soldiers, people who are just picked up because they were NUP members. All the prisons guards and prisons workers know all the details. Some Ugandan SFCs, some Ugandan military know how those people were killed. Some lynched in acid, some thrown over the river, some of them burned to death, some of them hacked to death, some of them, you know, whatever they did to them. Anybody who has that evidence or is considered to know those facts is going to be eliminated. Okay. Next item. After he swears in, they are going to crack down on all old officials. Muhoozi feels like they don't respect him as a general, and they want to set Muhoozi on a pace with his PLU, with his age mates. So all the older officials are going to get targeted and killed so that they are not an influence or interfering with the office of Muhoozi and PLU. Muhoozi will then instill all Rwandese only in all the offices where there are older generals and older Ugandans. They are trying to reset the country and give Muhoozi his fortification of only his Rwandese people in all those offices. Offices Moguma Dondo, Majoma, Ugandan, Sigati Yekomberi Chawani. Kamu 7 Utio swearing in. Kibinego joma ti offices eguni yogoli weng. Ibi winyi money chero ko toy we come. Money go chero sini and pocho. Money go chero siti many ning. Weng kibi kwanyu ki yo weng ki yo mene koke. Kak Muhoozi kibi mine joma aki Rwanda. Gena ye bomba bino beru kalon offices eguni. No ki miete Muhoozi ubet ki jone. Joma en geno pe joma ti Ugandan madongo ti offices mogo en kar malachi bena pege waroni. Awinyi Muhoozi deke ki luani ka boy. En jom ludire machane. Giluo en ni ka boy. En pe miere en ni. So kadong one not your swearing in. En no miere ki kel ire. Jone ma aki Rwanda. We gube reni offices mogo madoni. We have NP bed kene. Man you know any dong PLU government. Then government man yani ki luoni PLU pa Muhoozi. Joma ti you Joma ti KCCA weng miera kiriem gi opien Muhoozi tika kelu jogi mati hoima mati gena KCCA we ko joma ti hoima piana winyi ko berchani hoima ti ki jo pa Muhoozi gi don ken man don kelu PLU government ba NRM government do beru pe man yuru diro NRM mati maputi government ni gien bena kibi kwanyu gi opien government any don pa PLU pepa NRM. So the KCC members are also workers are also going to be eliminated except the ones in Hoima, because the ones in Hoima are already only Tutsi or Rwandese. The rest are going to be terminated after swearing in. They will say that they will be suspending them until further notice. That is the notice they will get from KCCA saying they are going to be terminated till further notice, suspended till further notice, but really that just means termination in other words. So Jomi KCCA bana kibir yamo gyo kibu mini gi notice ki wachi kwa chet kong gang manore wabi luo wo kakar ne oromo. After swearing in, several NRM officials, government officials are going to be eliminated in the operation called Clean All Possible Evidence. Ka gamente dong Museveni utim swearing in, joma ti gamente makiluongi ni NRM kibinego gyo weng PN operation na kiluoni Clean All Possible Evidence. Peke tika mieti chaden mauti mei gamente pa Museveni ndi ako peri gamente pa Muhoozi. So kibinego joma ti NRM matika joma dong tika aki Museveni ni wek joma kar ki Muhoozi bet joma nyen eno wek sovereignty bill ni Museveni wachi meti o karimano en gamente parliament en pia tumme pien meti parliament manyen ma obo chaka pa Muhoozi ni o chaka ki jomi manyen no dong jomi muken dong ende setting o chalu check me sovereignty ni wek dong ga Muhoozi donyo en dong donyo ma check dong tie dong peke be wachi ena yo kelu check ma rach manyuri joma o karo mo wek check eno karo ni gen bena go ba chero ki check enni. So essentially, NRM people who voted this sovereignty bill into place in this exiting or incoming parliament are going to be eliminated because they are witnesses to the sovereignty bill coming into place. They took action, they penned their opinion, their agreement, their yes onto the sovereignty bill. That means Muhoozi will eliminate them in the new government. Museveni does not want Muhoozi tainted by saying Muhoozi introduced a sovereignty bill in Uganda, because Museveni plans on disappearing as soon as he swears in. He's going to disappear. And then Muhoozi will essentially take, assume his seat, because he'll then be vice president. So, check tieni giren, plan tieni Muhoozi ena yabu berungo, la dirlobo, kadong swearing in utimme. Manyuti no check in marache ni po beberu buguru Muhoozi. Enu wel Museveni umete gino karma food pia Muhoozi, udonyo kom, ma food pia parliament manyen udonyo. Manyuti NRM machon, mao yeru gini weng, gen weng kibilwero gyogo. All the NRM who voted for the sovereignty bill are going to be eliminated. Like Joel said, these people think that when the rain falls, it doesn't fall on them as well. But this is the time to pay up. After the NRM passing the sovereignty bill, they are going to be eliminated because Museveni does not want those tainted hands in the new parliament, because they are witnesses to the passing of the sovereignty bill. You reap what you sow. Next thing. Museveni and Muhoozi said whether the sovereignty bill passed or not, because it still has to be signed by Museveni, they are going to use it to the T. Go watch it bill and kare no kare neni po kare. Giti kere do it teach. Wang magu ti you kere ki yo ma bill and geno choyo kere ni. Wang magu kere teach. Muhoozi ordered helicopters to fly at roof points in all regions to threaten Ugandans until swearing-in day. So Muhoozi has ordered airplanes to fly low. Those military airplanes, as loud as they are going to be coming low to the house and back up. The next one will come as low, back up, and like that. Just to create fear amongst Ugandans, to keep them locked up in homes. Muhoozi wachit dege pamoñ enini. O ordering ni dege o chakati wako makun dege tuk la ping kuma ini chok wiyata dano. Iwunu ngeo kira dege ni long kere. Dege bo woki choki wiyat ni zi mukana biyo ni mawi dano bo bare, ma dano bo beru luo, dano bo gungi at, peti kar wako. Man eni mei ni na di eni mano gano bo biyo ka swearing. Dano bo beri tuan lira de da. Peki miru dano kar wako ka lolo ni ngoti timeni. Pobe timo. Dege yani da winyo chakeo. Ube mete. Pian Muhoozi wai miera wok again. Okay. You are also going to see war machines and masked officers starting tomorrow in all populated towns. So lumondo mo chako nen unen lumoñ ma oberi kar me election mano ke rugo wan ke rugo mask ko ni we chaka diri go be bedo ko ka weng di Kampala Kenya. Starting tomorrow there will be military ammunitions all over in major towns, all over major towns, and masked men. Those masked soldiers are from different countries. Muhoozi does not have Ugandan soldiers policing this time because they don't trust Ugandan soldiers, because they have the heart for the people. So the new soldiers who have been imported, the mercenaries imported from other countries, Central African Republic and all of that, are going to wear masks. It is going to be January 15th, 2026, all over again. Jo ma ya ro mask ma goyo dano goyo wa nekoni gudugo ko. Iti Uganda dong. M23 gi, Central African lumongi, Jomai Tanzania suluhu gi kacha, Jo aki Kenya. Podo bi neno papata da, pobi ni nga ini beru dak ni ningi. Dan weng lumonyi wear ro mask. So starting tomorrow, they will all be wearing masks because they're foreign militia, including M23, who are going to be operating and causing fear in Kampala, in Uganda. Okay. In the next parliament, Mpuga will be coming back. Kasuku will be in the next cabinet. It'll be a surprise, but like I said, they're trying to create a PLU government going forward. No longer NRM, it is a PLU government. Ineno. Chake, kache donguti ya swearing in enini. Government madong ubemeta nyim, government makeluoni PLU, pedong weko NRM ba. Joma puti NRM guku utogi, pian gonguti mutima ranyoko, dong peke meroge kanena tata. And jo chalum puga gini. Mpuga wunungeni ti uberu MP me masaka. Uberi noob. Ento uberu karno gene. Uberu spy. Maki mam 7 ngu kare noob. Wagwero tere ki noob deda. So kuberi chawani. Noob. Gene. Mpuga. Kasuku enma kasuku malori gene. Social media ni. Kasuku don kibi gene. Kibi miyu cabinet minister. Chalu kirake kere balam. Mapo kwano mepe pengi waticheni. Kibi kere mere dan body feel atata. Pian after all. La dit gi me PLU ni betuano bank chat. So no do rata dong mabero. Peki miero dano matim menigi chai muhozi unyomo kwa anoloy muhozi. Kibi choko enjo adong kongi peni. Kaki delu gi chokere. Wek no en no dor gi ubed yot. So kasuku gi ubedi yeko no. Okay. They are regretting killing Tamale Mirundi and Dr. Ichuli. You guys remember Ichuli and Tamale Mirundi because they have failed to capture the media like they used to with Tamale Mirundi and Ichuli. They said that they should have just arrested them and kept them in prisons for a while, then released them when they needed to. So they're regretting having lost Ichuli and Tamale Mirundi. You guys know who Tamale Mirundi is. They've said that the ones who are now here, like Bajo failed, Gashumba is a failure, Tamale Mirundi Jr. is a failure. They really don't have a spokesperson anymore on social media, except there's a lady who Rachel Kawala, they're saying that she's doing well, but not that great either. Okay? So, gitika wachi, gitika parto, padana rio, achel makiluoni Tamale Mirundi, mukene makiluoni Dr. Ichuli. Dr. Ichuli no yang uberu spokesperson pa NRM, no T social media did that. So, man gitamani ginani, social media do dongo no one job menu were dominating social media. One on what ye maraji komgamenta dida. Ginoni konena no gi wek Mirundi, Tamale Mirundi unyo no Dr. Ichuli ko ligitwe gi kong gitime get getata en no gerom teach get gi karma no gemir man ko beri chawani ginoni social media pegiti ye matek kita yi gino mero kerini. En on yago mani nye Rachel Kawala ena eti ye matika yele la kermani eno benepeti mabe. Wai gashumba gidong weng utak chat keken. Gashumba Bajo mono teach ma gen penge wa teach gine pegiti a team teach social media mabe. Okay. Media stations to be blocked from broadcasting live swearing in. So the swearing in ceremony is going to be, if it happens while Museveni is at home, it will be minimally live streamed, only what they want to be shown. But if Museveni is at Kololo, there will be no media allowed to stream live that event. The only people who will be who will be recording the event will be SFC people dressed as media people. And they will capture the video or whatever, take it and doctor it, and then distribute it to the media the way they want it. So they'll only show what they want. That means if anybody goes to Kololo and tries to take a video, you are dead. Any media house that is going to try to take pictures or videos or live stream at Kololo is forbidden. They want to control the narrative. They want to only share what they will feel like is worth sharing. So SFC will capture what they capture, go back and doctor it, then share it in the media, and then it will go out to international media. So it may take a while before we see what needs to be seen, unless they edit it live from, Kololo or whatever, somewhere on scene. Okay? So media stations are not welcome to go and record or live stream that event. The world will not see it happening right away. So the best thing for new members of parliament, I'm going to say this because this is going to save your life. This is going to not give Museveni legitimacy. This is going to keep you strong. I saw Member of Parliament Shamim Malende is back in town for the ceremony. Noop members of parliament, please do not go to swear in. Because after all, who are you swearing in as? Because your president is not going to give Museveni the legitimacy as a winner of the election. So give Museveni a run for his money. If you don't swear in, Museveni has no opposition and there's no government. So kileba chulewachi joma bugina journalist peke bi yegi mecher kololo kamako video menyo to live kita Museveni buberu ka swearing in kere eno ka Museveni utimo ki zoom mati gange kacha gwake bitimo la kera mani kenyu piano ki bot ki kuno no Janet good gugor kichoma la kera mani kenyu no nene bai down ma no tingo choke Museveni eno ka ki kololo ki kwer ni journalist mo can pop mako video mo can jo mo ba mako video ne buberu jo SFC no guru kai wai SFC no guru kai wai journalist no guru kai rea go gina ke kene bu kibiye ga mako video manyuri in ke chero kichimi ata chi to in gina media house money ke temeni wi ter chero kunu chibiye peki biye media mo can me live streaming kibi wachi gin ke kene giba mako video kagi chero gi yubo video en niro kita yigo mero go ke ketela Janet ke ngol ke ketla tim la kerman kenyu ka don gubi kelu bod media house don gi chwale wai okay mega FM undo nyut gineni o nyo mega TV or whatever mundo nyut NTV don nyut video ni kuman u lok bana kuman pe kita yigo mero piana da pa gini enini pere. There's no truth to this. That is why they want to control the narrative. Okay? Gin mukene ma ki pera teradeda MPs panu po ye me cherka swearing in. Pien ka cherka swearing in. No tika bachi Museveni loy kuyeda. No loke diara for me bedong udegi. Uye oni file man madir ma kibi kele mano kibi kero mera karata tatani. And I don't come lock. Utika ye ni wunu cha den wunu ne file and do ye ben ni formatty file eguni. Gin mukene member of parliament panu kari ningo kibi kwanyu wo weng ki komu. Manyu ni keri swearing in. Kibi kwanyu wuki komu pien Museveni gimero kero jogi I komu ni. Gin moro mutimne ene kwer cherka swearing in no pien ka kwero no gamente pa Museveni uchungkiti ana chel. Pien gamente miero chungkiti ana rio miero bed ki opposition doko bed bena ki government. Manyu ka unu kwer chero no goyo wenya rio ki gwen chel. Wenya rio ki gwen chel. We don't tibalebe. So kill two birds with one stone. Do not swear in. You do not give Museveni legitimacy. You also stand a chance of remaining member of parliament of the region where you came from and were duly elected. Because if you swear in, you will not hold that position. Not. Absolutely not. So, in any case, just don't. It serves you and it serves the purpose of what you stand for. Because what's the point of you swearing in and 5 days later you're dead? What's that? Because they want you dead and they want you off that seat, which will happen. Lastly, Maiga was sent by Museveni to cause false hope in Buganda by talking about things like political prisoners and their release and asking Museveni, how come what this is happening? All along, Maiga has been quiet. The children of Buganda, in fact, there's a gentleman who when was arrested, he said, Maiga Katikiro, help me. Why don't you do something? But Maiga has never come out to criticize Museveni for what he's doing to the children of Buganda. I say Buganda not because it's only in Buganda. I know this is happening everywhere. But particularly regarding Maiga, because Maiga is from Buganda. Under his nose, Buganda children have been killed. Chibalama is from Buganda. Chibalama disappeared. Chibalama's wife was killed. Chibalama's children are just there without a parent. Among us, Eddie Mutwe from Buganda. Eddie Mutwe actually goes to a Catholic church where there are videos of Eddie Mutwe going to a Catholic church. Not the church, not Katikiro has ever come up to say anything. Now Katikiro comes up to say something. Do you believe him? That is a script straight from Museveni because Museveni wants a cool Uganda for the swearing-in ceremony. He wants Ugandans to have a cool head so he can successfully go and do this and then go and retire and leave this thing to his son to kill Ugandans as much as he wishes to. So, National Unity Platform, I'm begging you, members of parliament, do not swear in. Actually, one nero ni la tela mo ke ken ma aki gene cultural leader mo ke no au biro kate wa u John gamente pingo temo lutini maraj kuman pingo wono bulu kuman la ni ancha gulu ken ki karote office pa gulo ko bobi wine biro gulu ken ben pege ye ni uchun kama wono winyu ngare mo kate ki lok mo ke ken pien mo 7 no twe dog yo shene no romodano ko mutoka no romodano ko Johnny T payroll million a bit million a pa ma kate jui bodlo tela cultural leaders ni adaba Pegi romu kati ka loku gimo ke ken makonyo Ugandans. Pay no. Pien ki chulu dogi o kichente. So, don't Ugandans, kano ngeyo kitu tekede. Ineno, Moses ki Bible, ikarama Moses ngeyo ni en kara en pe beru latena fero. Unyo latena nyapa fero. Teki kwili Moses jalwe. Ini beru latin pa Johnny, may tiko foto gidi chengidi woni ba. Moses wa Moses tek winyu ni en kara eni be Latin Israeli kuni luere Israeli meruti yako Moses oki Egypt pira kene ko chero ko kamo kene uchero kanya jutugi o wa de dine ni wunu nera kacha atimu hukuman po waji gimo tek Moses ngeyu gina eni beru and I tell you what you want Ugandans if you know who you are tek Moses ngeni an Latin Israeli Moses uduki fero we fero pebi will. Ruba wajuki Moses ni cheritim kuman Moses uduki fero Moses umero tia kujopa fero ko ki Egypt. Eno waka wachi ni kache ngeu ginma initie anangene ni anangarimoni ni. Angebe ni an Latin pa ngarimoni ni. Tije mogo mana 12 tem ne tije mogo mana pat. Ento Ugandans. Ngayu realize ni wunu tie wuna ye wegi gang Uganda wuna ye wegi lobo chaki kenyu kade meta nyim in ma ini red gang kenyu ni mirate meaning Ugandans I'm saying that when Moses realized that he was not the child of the daughter of the Pharaoh and somebody told him and said Moses do you know that you are killing your own people that you are actually not the child of the daughter of the Pharaoh? Moses said, you what? As soon as Moses knew who he was, he took action in the right direction. So that's what I'm saying. Ugandans, know who you are and take action. That is your land. Take action. These people fear you. But until you know who you are going to think they are special. They're not. Know who you are. When Moses knew who he was, he left, reorganized himself, came back and gave Pharaoh hell, but got his people out of there. Moses was blessed to go and get his people out of there after knowing who he was, that he was an Israelite, that he was suffering, that he was punishing his people. When he came back to the camp, the other side of the camp. You Ugandans who are working for the Musevenis, you are not them. If you know who you are, then you come to the right side and position and you do what is necessary. You will be able to do what's right if you know who you are. But if some of you, like the generals, you are behaving like you're Mnyarwanda, you can never be in the right direction. I'm telling you. Know who you are. Say, I am a child of this soil. I must protect it, and I will do it. It'll take a little bit. These people hope that you never know who you are. That you remain dummies. You don't know who you are. So they can plow you down the way they want. It's actually getting dark. But I want you to know that you have the power. It doesn't have to be Bobby Wine coming down to do this. Every one of you is a Bobby Wine. I am a Bobby Wine, full throttle. Kano angeni ana beru ngati money kamana tiye ka ngeyo ngata ana tie an latena ngati money teko na kama tiye no ngeyo jo mugo matia tiji gamente magen tamni gende beru Nyarwanda ni pien gini pe tika tiji ki jone tika chambot jone ni mono wenga line pien chame ne ku upewa kigene option kineku kita yigo mero Pingo ponge gina wunu tie. Wu a okibot jo chane chale Moses. Moses wu a okibot feroge. Odugu diba kama en mere beri ye. Ka dote mu jone kita en nge yukede. Moses amedi kwanyo jone. ki Israel, ki Egypt. So know who you are. Identity number one. The rest will fall into place. Some of you are in high places. You are empowered. You have things that can be used. You have ideas. But you think you are Rwandese. Next thing we know, we are crying about your demise. Oh, this guy was so powerful. This person was so this and that. Well, too late. Spilled milk. You who are in places, do something. You, the Anita Mongs, is coming for you. Anita Mong, when it's time for you to die, you will have no opinion. You'll be gone. It takes a second for them to say Anita Mong must go. After you've passed the sovereignty bill, you've harassed Ugandans. Anita Mong, you are not Rwandese, but you have passed the sovereignty bill with a lot of sarcasm, calling Joel Senyonyi, my brother, this, my brother, last supper. Oh, last supper? You will not even have a last supper. When the time comes, Anita Mong will not have supper. I'll leave you with that. It's getting dark. I better get home. I love you so much. I love you so much. Let's do what we can. Okay? Take good care. I'll be back tomorrow. I know that it's going to be critical until the 15th and afterwards. I will try to come every day. I like doing this, the English and Acholi. Luti and Acholi. Unge ngo ma unutieba. Ube chalu Moses me Bible. Nge ngo ma initie. In Latin Acholi my team onyi. Nge ni in Latin Acholi pepe Rwandese. Igoy jo Uganda pingo. Initi kiki money my ticket. Anita Mong and I watch it puru utemobile no temata anyway. Oko obera bokoreni koni jo noob do to money we. Ikare man muhoze bo wai kineka Anita Mong pope cham last supper money man watch ke Joel Senyonyi ni last supper ni. En pope cham supper. Wunu ko nen lokane bo por kadoga. But amaru wadeda uben mabe waka chet gang. Amaru makonyepe. I love you very, very much. You take care. Bye-bye.